Okay. So we're just jumping on here today to talk about setting up a Shopify store and just some of the basic things to do.
Yeah,
And then some on-page SEO points, like when you're setting up a product and like how to use Jasper in that, right?
absolutely.
Just want to make sure that I've got my brain clear. So it's a little
Yeah, it's
foggy over here too.
so for me, it's just getting started because I just opened up this Shopify, set up some domain tech stuff, and it's okay, where do I go to next?
Okay.
And how do I
So
make it efficient from the start?
awesome. Okay. So I'm Crystal Waddell. This is Knowledge Vomit. It's a special episode on Shopify. I'm here in my demo store with Kelly Miller. And Kelly, do you want to tell people just a little bit about what you're trying to do?
I'm a health coach and I'm writing a cookbook and I'm looking at all the different ways and funnels and sales pages to sell the cookbook. But then I'm also looking to create a store for products. Instead of referring people to Amazon or Pampered Chef or other places, I'm looking to create an actual shop under the brand of Healthy Cooking 101 to just collect things where I can educate people and point them to these are the best things that I like. So it's like Kelly's favorite things. And that's what my Shopify store is going to be all about.
Awesome. Okay. So when you get into Shopify and you're getting ready to start your process or whatever with your store, it's going to give you a setup guide to get started. So obviously you can see it here. You're going to add your first product, you're going to customize your store, add a domain, set up payments, and set your shipping rates. So it sounds like you're going to have physical products and possibly digital downloads as well.
Print
No.
on demand, potentially. Yeah. Like
Okay.
I'm probably at the end of the game going to have everything. Initially, I'd probably like to start with what is the word where someone else ships it?
Okay. So that's drop shipping.
Drop shipping. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So with drop shipping, there's a couple of different companies that you'll want to connect with, and we can look at some apps for that. One off the top of my head is Oberlo. I know a lot of people use them. You want to really take into consideration where these products are coming from, because not that it necessarily a terrible thing if it's coming from overseas, but with supply chain issues, especially going forward, that can really damage your brand if people are like excited about a product and then it takes weeks and
Yep.
weeks to get to you.
Good
Um,
point.
One thing I wanted to say here about this custom domain, because I just ran into this with one of my clients yesterday, you can buy a domain through Shopify. So I know that you had mentioned before that you had your domain like through iPage or cheap domains or whatever domain cheap.
My domain, yeah, I use iPage, but now I use Namecheap. But
Oh,
yeah, my old domain that I'm using for this store is iPage, but it's hosted through SiteGround. So I did the tech stuff. My personal thing, I always recommend like people buying their own domain and not buying through Squarespace or Shopify because it's always a pain to disconnect it. But that does make it things easier. Shopify works with, when I went through the process yesterday, they worked with GoDaddy and another, and they authorize it automatically. It didn't work with mine, so I had to manually update it, which wasn't hard. I've done this many times, but for someone who doesn't know how to do it, they just have to follow the guide.
yeah.
Just
So
change two things.
yeah. So if you're comfortable messing with DNS settings and that type of thing, then you'll be fine with your domain outside of Shopify. But if you want something just super simple, just buy your domain during or when you're setting up your Shopify store. I think it's $12 for the year. And then everything that you do, like when you go to connect to Google Analytics and Google Search Console and that type of stuff, it's just very easy. It all communicates together on that back end.
Cool.
All right. So that's the first thing. Next, we were going to talk about some apps. So when you are thinking about your apps, let's just look up drop shipping up here in the search bar. So when you type that in the search bar, you're going to get some stuff inside your store first. And then down here, you'll see that you can search for drop shipping in the Shopify App Store. So that's what we're going to click. And let me know if you can still see my
Yep.
screen. Okay.
App Store is popping up.
Sometimes when you switch windows, it'll switch screens.
Sure.
So these are all the different vendors for drop shipping that integrate with Shopify. And you can see that some of them advertise. So just be aware that some of these at the top are advertisers versus them ranking by a certain way. Okay. Because right now it's sorted by best match. You could also try most popular or you can go by newest. I would actually want to go by oldest, but it does sometimes there's going to be some really great new stuff too. The
Sure.
thing here is you're really just going to have to look and see what's the best fit for you and just take some time to do some research. And I wouldn't skip this part, even going online beyond just the App Store here and researching what other people are saying about it, like in Reddit or Quora or whatever, because the reviews here,
You're
you know,
steered.
yeah, and there are some practices I've ran into this. I've helped Shopify store owners where they will maybe not require, but encourage people to leave a review at a certain stage of the product or the project before it's finished or something like that. And
Yeah.
there might be like a whole bunch of reviews from one person because the company is asking for that or whatever. So you want to always take every review with a grain of salt and then assess if it's a good fit for you. Does this seem like it's going to match and mesh with your company's vibe and those type of things in addition to the prices? But let's look at some of the top ones like Spocket. I thought about using Spocket before. Like I said, is Overlow. A lot of people will use Alibaba, and that is a Chinese company where you can get stuff from China. But again, you have to be careful when you're doing this. The way that I would recommend doing it is buying sample products
Mhm.
and assess the quality
Yep.
and also have it shipped to you so that you can fulfill it versus having them fulfill it, at least initially, because it's not like you're going to be processing 10,000 orders a day in the beginning. But you want to make sure that the product that you're sending them is what you're promising them. Plus, you can then take your own product photos so that you're not selling something so generic.
So you're paying a little bit more in shipping, losing a little bit more in potential profit initially, but yeah, the product photo aspect is a great point. Yeah, I did want to get samples before I recommend anything because that's just my nature. I can't blindly
Mhm.
say, I like this wooden spoon if I've never used it. What if it splinters or cracks? I don't know. Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay, so next let's look at print on demand. And I've had some success with print on demand. And I'll tell you the companies that I prefer to work with right now because I sell senior night posters. And so what happens there is I actually design the posters in Photoshop, but then I submit it to one of these online printers. It's a partner of Shopify, and then they print and ship the poster, or they print and ship the frame and the poster, which is real.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very cool. And in the beginning, I used Printful.
I'm signed up with them right now too. I've created a shirt with them.
Okay. Yeah, actually, the first one that I signed up with was Printify. And I'll be honest, I left Printify a couple negative reviews because I had print colors come out incorrectly multiple times, and their customer service is really difficult to get a hold of. And so that's something you have to think of when you're depending on a third party to help you fulfill on your promises as a business owner. You need to make sure that you partner with someone who shares your customer service approach.
Absolutely. Very
Um,
good point.
Printify was very difficult to work with, and they wanted pictures from my customer and pictures from this and that or whatever. And it's, look, I may not even have a relationship with my customer. This is our first interaction. I can't put more work on them to solve the problem as I'm trying to resolve their problem. In contrast, Gelato, which is my favorite print on demand company to use right now, they offer, not only do they offer the printing and the framing as a complete service, they also have amazing customer service
That's
because I
fantastic.
had one issue where my client said the poster wasn't sent with the frame. And at that time, they didn't do the service where they combined them. They were packaged together, but separately inside the
Gotcha.
package. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so the
Gotcha. Now I
customer still had
understand.
to put it together, but now it's all together. That's an option. I reached out to Gelato. Within a day or two, my customer had a replacement.
Amazing.
Yeah. So,
I
and
love
that,
that.
and because of that, I will scream from the rooftops, use Gelato.
That's an amazing option because I talked with you before that I want to start selling my photography.
Mhm.
And it's just such amateur beach photography. And I'm like, how can I do this? I don't want to deal with framing and selling. So that's something that I could get started with right away, replicating the 3 images that I have above my couch.
So when you add an app You just do what I just did. You click on add app and then you install it into your store. Now with Gelato, you'll have to create an account
Sure.
outside of Shopify. I already have an account and I just signed in with Google. So I'll do that real quick just so I can show you what that looks like on the inside of Gelato. And they have just some of the best stuff, some of the cutest stuff. And so this is drop shipping, but it's also print on demand. It's a combination of the two, which is really fun. So you can use your designs and use their print capabilities to send things globally.
I
Okay.
love this. And what I love is the interaction and how it automatically goes. And this is why I started Shopify because I have a WordPress with WooCommerce and Woo is on here and it connects, but it's still not quite as integrative. And Shopify is the pillar. So why not use these? This is beautiful. Where did you get your simple and smart SEO hoodies from? Were they the Printify ones?
Those were from Printify, I think. Yeah. And I don't love them.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to look for some different things in regards to that. But you can see how they have all these different
Oh,
posters,
this is so much
canvas.
fun.
And I who knew it was so easy to print on aluminum or acrylic or foam or whatever.
I've been seeing these in Etsy and I'm like, how do these people do that? And I don't want to handle all these things and I don't want to have a print shop in my home. I just want to be someone that, you know, inspires people. And I could see a line of kitchen sayings or let's eat or
Oh,
things that
cute.
just help you add some fun or drinks well with others, some kind of fun stuff like that.
Yeah, I love that. These are the ones where I said ready to hang available. Now they have them on all the wooden frames. So that's great. So that means that they
Wow.
come fully assembled and they're just ready to go, hang on the wall, which is
Beautiful.
amazing. Yeah. So I love those. And then phone cases, you can print your designs on phone cases, mugs, calendars, cards. You can do all of your business promotional printing here as well. The one thing that you have to consider is the shipping
Mm,
because with
mm.
Gelato, you don't get free shipping from them. You actually have to pay for the shipping to your client. So you want to make sure that you include
Absolutely.
that in your prices. And Shopify has a really neat way to put your pricing into the store so that you know how much you're making and spending for each product. So I can show you
Wow.
that in just a moment.
Okay.
The last thing I wanted to show you here is that you can like when you click on one of these, you can actually create a product that's a permanent product. So for me, I do things custom
Custom.
for each client. So the good thing is once you've created this one time, you will be able to upload this product or make all of these options available in your Shopify store. And then it just communicates to
Yeah.
Gelato. And then all you have to do is click fulfill and there it goes.
Amazing. I'm so excited because looking at Etsy stores and looking like how people are doing this, I'm like, this looks so complicated, and I'm gonna have to hire a VA to make all these different files, and it's just very
Yeah, and it's very easy because once you hit start designing, you upload one of your files and I'll do one of mine right here just so you can see how easy it is. Here is a poster.
just upload a quality image and then it can resize it. It looks like that's
Yeah, and I know that this is a 24 by 36. So I'll put that back in there again.
oh, look at that.
But all you have to do is just drag it in there and then add to order. So if you make things to size and you know that everything's fine and right, there you go. They also have this new thing where you can add branding. So I haven't explored that one yet, but that's also pretty fun.
Very cool. So then when someone orders off my store and they order this that's on there and it's since it's not custom, I don't have to worry about the custom aspect of it. But then do I have to go in and, like you said, just hit fulfill? It's just pretty easy. I don't have to
Yeah,
copy and paste.
it's a little different for you than it is for me because I do the custom orders. But ideally, what's going to happen is you'll have an order list here. And if it's connected, then you'll have the option to fulfill. So,
Gotcha.
or maybe
Cool.
even say that it's approved or whatever. I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Really neat.
So that's print on demand, super helpful, super fun. Let's go to your products. And I do want to just show a very quick way to deal with products and different things because I didn't realize that you could bulk edit your products.
Yes, this is something I need to know.
Yes, Because as you were talking about having to do other things for other stores or whatever, there's a way that you can do this quickly. Now, the caveat here is that when you do it manually on each product page, which I'll show you next, then you can check the box where it will automatically create a redirect. Whereas if you do it here, you need to make sure that you track if you change a URL because you're going to need to manually create a redirect.
Okay,
So those
fair. Can you just show me? Can you just
yeah.
step back one time and show me
Uh-huh.
how you got there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I clicked on product.
Okay, products. Got it. And then clicked all. Okay.
Yeah, and then I selected these right here, and then it pops up with the bulk.
Okay.
Yeah, and then obviously there's some options here that you can do that you can update all of them at one time. If you're ready to go live, you can just include in sales channels and it's gonna make them all live. All right, so we're gonna go to bulk edit and then we're gonna go to column. Now, when I deal with SEO, this was the neatest thing because you can delete all of these things and just go down to SEO. And now you can see those SEO elements, which are going to be your page title, meta description, the URL. Okay. And this is where Jasper comes in super handy. Okay. We'll come right back to that because I know we're short on time. I wanted to also show you the pricing. So, what's really great is that you can take a look at your base price. And then right here, you can say, okay, this is how much it costs to manufacture. This is how much it costs to ship. This is how much labor or something that I'm paying. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can put that in there. So let's say that it's $1,000. Okay. It's once we get back to the product page, it's going to show us your profit per item. Sorry, let's go back into that edit product and I pull up that pricing. So yeah, you can look
Mm,
at those individually and then see your profit margin. So how cool
I
is
love
that?
that.
Yeah. So once you have found a winning product, once you have a bestseller kitchen poster or whatever, then you know you want to ramp that one up and you want to that's the one that you really want to market and advertise to people.
But just checking off those boxes and bulk editing meta descriptions, because this is what a project I have to work on.
And then the other thing that you can do is you can export this. So
Yeah.
I can select those 14 products and then export them. And now I can actually edit them within an Excel
Spreadsheet.
spreadsheet. When I'm working on Shopify stores, especially if I'm doing like meta descriptions and page titles and that type of thing, sometimes it's easier just to download that file and work within Google Docs or Google Sheets and do that information. So let me grab that. Okay. So this is where all of that information lives. And so you can, if you're like, okay, I want to add all these tags here, I can just make all the tags.
You'll have to go over tags a little bit in another video, how to
Okay.
tag and sort products. But yeah, this is cool. This gets me started so that I can get my start with my shop and some products and play with merch that I don't have to invest in or really hold inventory. And then this also helps me get started on editing and adding products. And once I do, how to use other things. So you had said that, and I think we still have time. You had said that you wanted to address how Jasper could come into play with this part,
Yes. Okay. So let's say this is all the stuff that you could potentially put in your Shopify store.
all the details of each product. Wow.
So if we go over here to SEO title, this is a snowboard, right? I can go to Jasper and ideally I would be doing this in Google Sheets probably because that way I could actually,
Be in a Chrome browser.
yes, exactly. Okay. So write an SEO title for 36-inch white snowboard from the snow shop. Okay. So I'm just saying write an SEO title because Jasper extension is installed. I can just run this command with Jasper. So Jasper just created this SEO title for me. All right. Now this, I can look at this and tell that it's more than 50 or 60 characters. So I'm going to go in here, it's wordcounter.net, but I'm going to go in there and I'm going to place that meta title into the character counter. And as long as I like the meta title, I need to edit this so that it's within 50 or 60 characters.
Gotcha. For the product title, 50 to 60 is magic.
And so
And
just quickly, I edited that to say a white snowboard from the snow shop, 36
perfect.
word for you. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So now I can take that and I can copy it and I can put it into my store. So let's just say it's this one right here. If I was going to edit this one for just each individual element, I would put that title at the top and then I would put it here as well. And the good news is, since I'm in here, I can say write a meta description.
With the extension.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And I think that's a perfect way to end and summarize this and tease what more there is to come.
Yeah. So I'll drop the link for Jasper in the notes and you put your meta description between 150 and 160 characters.